So Thursday morning, okay, it's one more, okay? I'm doing them all in a row, you know that. But I'm going to take Lily out now. She's wandering around the house, so. But it just throws me. This is the prophet Haggai. I think that's how you say his name. I don't know. Okay, but listen to what he says. It's exactly the same theme. Because I've been bringing out. This is just a little bit better than him. So he's a prophet. I'm not. What are you talking about? Forgot about it. Anyway, watch this. This is neat. It's time to rebuild the house. It's the same theme as Ezra. But listen to it now and apply it to our own times, our last 100 years, okay, roughly speaking. You could actually pinpoint it down the last 60, 70 years, 65, 70 years. Watch what he says. The time has not come to, thus says the Lord of hosts. This people says, he's talking about people in general, the time has not yet come to rebuild the house of the Lord. They're rejecting it. That's the rejection of the faith, you see? Then this word of the Lord came through Haggai the prophet. Is it time for you to dwell in your own planted, paneled houses, while this house, the house of faith is the word, the temple, lies in ruins? Think of it another way, okay? Is it time for you to dwell in your own paneled houses, looking fat on the land, you're looking good, while this house lies in ruins? You better take a damn look at what you're doing. It ain't all it seems to be. Think of our children now. Now, says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Let's take a good look, okay? Quit the bullshit. Let's take a look, okay? Forgot about it. You have sown much, but have brought in little. What have you got to show for it? See? What have you got? You're in your paneled house, your pseudo-wealth, your independence, the arrogance of conceit, your new rationalism. What's it brought you? What's it brought you? Yeah. You have eaten, but you've never been satisfied. Think about that. You're full and empty. You've had it all. You got nothing. You're still starving. Think of our children. You've been fed the wisdom of the world, and you're starving. See? You have drunk, but you've never been exhilarated. You haven't even been lifted up. You've been chasing illusions. You have clothed yourselves, but are not warmed. You're cold in isolation. Boy, that's an experience. I think of that. Some of these children, their feeling of isolation and loneliness. It's a barrenness. It's a coldness. I would almost describe a chill in search of warmth. To be chilled. Be chilled. Yeah. You've earned wages. This is a great line. And whoever earned wages earned them for a bag with what? With holes in it. Think about it. Well, a bag with holes in it. Money goes, you got holes in your pocket. Remember those lines? Yeah. Thus says the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Go up into the hill country. Bring timber, build a house, that I may take pleasure in it and receive my glory, says the Lord. Start rebuilding the house. Start rebuilding your faith. That's what these kids are doing. They're hewing the wood. They're out there cutting trees now. They're out there earning it. They're rebuilding the house of faith. And with that, the house of culture. A sustainable moral culture. They've been chilled. They've been chilled. They have been hungry, though they've been fed the wisdom of the world. And they're hungry. That's the truth. You have to hear these kids. See? What was planted, what they've implanted, has come up. What was planted for them has been barren. They promised them paradise, they gave them the desert. That's the truth. When I see the vacuity, the vacuous culture we live in, it's empty, driven by pseudo-wisdom, pseudo-ideologies, blind leading the blind. The ideology of the month club, one more divisively stupid and empty than the other. Not bringing wholeness, but fractionization, antipathy, and enmity, not wholeness. Not who is brother and sister to each other, but a Hobbesian world is who is the stranger, who is the enemy. Okay? Who's the enemy? You don't have to be a genius to pick out who's the victim, who isn't the victim, who plays the victim's role, who are the bad guys. And you see that everybody's the bad guy and everybody's the victim. Who's brother and sister? Anybody? Where's the family? And I don't mean by that physically. Where's the family of humankind? Not an aggregate of victimized and victimizers. Not a Hobbesian world, but maybe an Aristotelian world of friends together. When I teach my class, what I do in my ethics class, I give them a choice. I really do. I say to them, look at a choice in this sense. Look at the Hobbesian world and then look at the Aristotelian world. Aristotle's is at 1500, now it's close to 1800 years before him. Both were in collapsed cultures. Aristotle offers a philosophy, an ethic of friendship and the virtues. Hobbes is a contractual society of competing individuals. He says the natural state is the state of war. As Aristotle says the natural state is the state of friendship. Which one do you want? I'm going to start showing you the movie The Godfather, parts 1 and 2, starting this Tuesday coming up. I'll tell you why. It's a Hobbesian world. It's a world in which you have power. That's Leviathan. That's The Godfather. Marlon Brando, Don Vito. But always on the edge of fear. Who can you completely trust? Nobody. And you see its descent throughout Godfather 1, but really bottoms out in Godfather 2. Michael actually has his brother killed. Remember? Fredo. Fredo's killed. How do you descend into more of a hellish world? That's Hobbes. I mean, that's a Hobbesian world. There are no friends. There are only contractual agreements among self-seeking survivors. When Aristotle is friendship. And the virtues of friendship that lead to peace. You see? Christ radically transforms that. Because even Aristotle thought to be a good and civilized person, you had to be an Aristotelian. You had to be an Athenian. You had to grow up in Athens. Everybody knows that. See? You had to be a Greek. It didn't do you much good if you were someone else. Not true. And Christianity is global. We are brother and sister to each other. We are not at war with each other. We are brother and sister to each other. See? The hollowness of our times today is witness to the Hobbesian world of the 17th century give rise finally to the barrenness of our own. Look at the 20th century. You want to repeat it? Does anybody want what one of the popes called a century of horror? 80 million people were slaughtered in the Second World War. Most of them women and children, innocents, got in the way of bombs. You want the atrocities of the 20th century, the Holocaust? Stalin alone wiped out 30 million of his own people. Stalin, that wasn't the same. They weren't wiping out the Jews, wiping out anybody who got in his way. 30 million. God knows what the Japanese did to the Chinese and then what Mao did to his own. The brutality of the 20th century is equaled only by the sciences of the times. These guys were not unenlightened barbarians. They were the most enlightened people in the world. And they slaughtered each other. Anybody who believes in science as a religion is a damn fool. All you got to do is look at science, look at the 20th century. Aristotle had it far wiser than Plato. It wasn't knowledge that redeemed. He wasn't a Gnostic. It's the human heart. It's the human heart. It's the virtues of the heart. Friendship. If not, you're investing in a bag with holes in it. You could describe that as the 20th century. We ate and we're hungry. We were clothed, but we're cold. We earned, and what we earned went to us and fell to the ground. We sowed and reaped nothing but horror, weeds instead of grain. Our children know that. They're the product of it. And our children are now looking for growth, life, and friendship. I have tremendous hope in our future because I believe and I look into the eyes of children on search. Children who have tasted it all and been hungry, been chilled, been clothed but chilled. That's the truth. They will find Christ. They will find each other. Whether through Aristotelian friendship or the communion of the saints, that is, the communion of believers, they will find what they're looking for. Wholeness. Wholeness.